Okay.
Are we recording?
We are.
All right, it's December 16th. I'm going to open the Selectmen's board, Select Board meeting. First order of business is
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
any public input.
I have a couple things.
You want to do this in public?
Sure.
Okay, fine.
First off is, I found out about 10 days ago that the selectmen had voted, or whoever voted, to cut our Boyle benefits card. And in replace of that, they were going to add disability and life insurance. And so I said to Audrey, I said, okay, I already have disability and I already have life insurance, so do I fill this paper out? I don't need that or whatever. And she was said she'd find out. A couple days later, she contacted me and told me I was not eligible for the disability or the life anyway. So that tells me that I took a $1,500 out-of-pocket pay cut this year, because that's what my card was worth. So if I'd have known I was going to have a $1,500 cut there, I probably would have asked for a raise. I've never asked for a raise because the town has always paid my health insurance, and I appreciated that. I have gotten raises over the years when other people have gotten raises, but now I feel that this $1,500 right out of my pocket wasn't fair, and I didn't know about it until 10 days ago when I got an email. So I'm just throwing that out there. That
We're still paying your health insurance.
yes, yeah, I'm still getting my health insurance, but I didn't intend on getting a pay cut for it. The other thing that I said is just a concern about the dump stickers. We've had quite a few people come in the last 2 or 3 weeks ready to purchase their new dump stickers for the coming 2 years, $5 a sticker. I know the stickers are in-house. I know that Bob, which I said this I was hoping he was going to be here, has had this on his agenda for 3 years, and now it's getting down to new sticker time. Personally, I don't think $5 is too much to ask for 2 years for dump stickers. A lot of towns charge more. I know Bob doesn't want to charge anything. I don't know how that would work because we have lots of renters. He said, put them in the tax bills. We have a lot of people who rent, and especially in the summertime, a lot of people rent their cottages or their houses or whatever. I had a lady that came in Friday and she was ready to buy her dump sticker and said, I've lived here 11 years. I always bought a dump sticker. And I don't want to lie and say, oh no, we're not doing it anymore or this, because nothing's been established. So she said, you know, I lived here 11 years. Paid $20 a year for the dump sticker in where I lived in Connecticut. And I paid a lot more in taxes in Connecticut than I do in New Hampshire. So, I'm sure you don't want my $5? I said, no, Selectmen are still working on that after almost 3 years. So that's one comment, another comment. And I got one more, since I'm not going to be here for the 6 o'clock DOT, which I thought they were coming at 5, I was told, and then I saw the agenda and it said 6. Personally, I think a four-way stop is not a good idea, partly because if it's a winter day and you're coming up that hill and you have to stop, I mean, 171, not crosswise, 171, it's gonna cause some problems to try and get going, I think. And the same coming down if you put it full way, so I'm disappointed that the DOT guy's not here right now but that's my 2 cents worth, which I know is probably only worth a penny.
I mean, for what it's worth, the DOT generally feels that while they have the authority to put it in four-way, whether we want it or not, they don't generally go against what the public feels about it.
Right.
So, if that's any consolation.
Yeah, but I sort of knew that, but I think those 2 flashing stop signs on Crossroad have done the job. I think they're a good asset to those places.
Well, the state.
If you don't see them, you shouldn't be driving.
The state didn't do anything about the stop signs, the town did that. And we haven't voted on the stories that I know of.
No, I know you haven't, and it's like, okay,
I don't
do
know what
something.
that means.
Somebody needs to
Consider-
step up to the plate and,
Right,
It's on the agenda tonight to review and approve the policy.
okay, but we're not gonna do that without the author.
that's one of those. So, when's your next meeting? Not until January.
No, we have a meeting this
Oh, you
month.
do?
Yeah, the 30th.
I don't want you to get away with something, yeah, so,
Not
okay.
getting away with anything.
Oh, okay. All right, so that's all that was on my list.
Okay. Any other public comment? Okay, move on. I'll go to the review of minutes.
No, you need to do the public hearing, please, for accepting unanticipated funds. It was typed out for you right at the beginning of your folder.
Right on top, number 2.
And I have that red folder tonight.
Okay, I'd like to open a public hearing Monday, December 16th. It's 4:40. And in accordance with the provisions of RSA 31:95/E, we're holding a public hearing to accept personal property donated to the town with a value of more than $5,000. The Tuftonboro Police Benevolent Association would like to donate the DJI Matrix M30T drone package to Tuftonboro Police Department. The value of the drone package is $12,306. Is there any public input? No mention of New Jersey.
Yeah, I got that.
What do we know about it?
Well, we know a lot because we're the government, but I don't know if you wanted to know any other. Any testimony by the selectmen?
None.
Okay. So I'm gonna close the public hearing. And I'd like to make a motion that we accept this gift from the Tuftonboro Police Benevolent Association.
I'll second.
Any other comment?
None.
Then all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So thank you for the drone. Well defended, now that there's drone problems everywhere in the world. Now we'll move on to the minutes. Minutes of November 19th. So what these minutes? November 19th?
Yep.
Any changes or alterations?
I did not have any this week.
We'll entertain a motion to accept.
Motion to accept the minutes. Did you want to do the public session as well?
Well, we'll do one at a time.
One at a time? All right. I'll motion to accept the minutes from Tuesday, November 19th, 2024.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And then we got a public session.
Non-public?
Non-public, I'm sorry. For the same day as November 19th.
I have no changes.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
All right, motion that we accept the non-public session for November 19th, 2024.
I'll second. All those in favor?
All right,
Aye. And we've got minutes from December 2nd. Both minutes.
I already read them, and I didn't have any on here as well.
Okay. I'll entertain a motion.
All right, a motion to accept the minutes from December 2nd, 2024.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that was a work session as well.
That's right, but I didn't see
That
that.
is something the board is not included yet.
Okay, that would be why I didn't see it. All right.
All right. Next item is the fire department update. Is the fire department here?
I don't see anybody from the fire
Yeah, I
department.
think there were some changes. So, police chief is here, and fire chief, I think, is coming soon.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so we'll do the police chief first. Mr. Chief.
And the transfer station. Yeah.
Okay.
Good evening.
Hi, Judy. Oh.
Go away.
So I'm not sure what we're asking for, chief. Are you asking for 151 hours or 80?
I am asking to have permission to carry over anything above and beyond the 80 that we are allowed to. So in other words, I have 151 hours. If the board was to say no, then I drop down to 80 and then I go to next year with 80.
I personally don't have a problem with it just because of the situation given last year. However, what does that do to us financially, if anything?
Well, he's already gotten paid for his vacation that he's taken. How many hours, do you take any vacation hours?
It's been slim this year. I mean, usually I'm into using what I do probably 2 weeks a year type of thing and carry 2 over maximum. This year has been really rough to the point where I've never had a block of time to take off. It's usually been maybe a couple days here, a couple days there.
Right.
So how
At the
many
most.
weeks of vacation you have?
I accumulate 4 a year. Tom accumulates 5 a year.
So, I guess I'm not ready to vote on this until I get an audit of what happened.
Okay.
So
That's fine.
And I think we need to know
what happened in what respect?
how many vacation days did you take, how many hours are left.
But that's what he's stating here.
I appreciate that, but I haven't heard from my administrator about it.
Do you,
I just
Is
dropped
that
that
the-
in her lap, so
Yeah, that's
so, yeah.
19 days of vacation, basically, that you're looking for, carrying forward. If you have 4 weeks, that's 20 days.
Right.
So you only took 2 I guess I just want to verify that that's what happened.
Not necessarily, because I did carry some over from
The previous year?
23 to 24.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. And I couldn't tell you how many I've used this year.
Can we just wait and get an audit on this
Certainly,
and do it next week?
certainly,
Yeah.
whatever works.
We're not opposed to it.
No,
No, not at all.
just wanted to bring it to your attention, and most certainly, yep.
Okay.
Okay, as far as the stats go, we've had several call-outs in the month of November, probably a little bit more so than we have had in the past few this fall. So, and they're mainly alarms, and they're after hours, so sometime when we're a call at night. Let's see, nothing remarkable about our stats have changed or anything like that from the same time last year. And I think we did bump up one felony since last month. And other than that, but since the same time last year, other than that, there's been nothing really to report. It's just kind of been status quo. Let's see, Officer Baudette's been on duty since November. He was sworn in and stuff. Well, I needed to make sure that he had his 16 hours of continuing ed before the end of this year, which is why you've seen him in the first page. He's been going online and doing certain things and making up the difference, since that's something I have to make sure that he fulfills now that he's on my watch. So he's been doing that when things have been slow in the evening shifts.
Is that something he's going to be able to complete by the end of the year?
Absolutely.
Is
Yeah,
it something
yeah,
that
he's
he
already
needs
there
to?
at this point. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
He's already there at this point. All of us need to. Sergeant Lefebvre and I have our hours already to carry over, so we'll be good. And the problem that we have is that if somebody comes on board with us late in the year, we still have to make sure that they meet the criteria of what the academy mandates in order to keep their certification before January 1st rolls around and it becomes suspended. So that was something that he did some of his training before he came to us. And so he's just completed some of the other stuff that is acceptable from the academy. So we're good.
What does that mean? What does that mean for our fourth officer? It sounds like they're probably not coming on until after the first of the year anyway.
That's
If assuming all
yes.
goes
I would say at
as
this point in
expected.
time, I would push it out to maybe the last week of December if we're lucky. But I would say that I would feel comfortable saying that by early to mid-January, we might be, looking at that. He already has been
the
put on
training.
notice that he's got to make sure that he meets that criteria and that we get that squared away so that his certification's not in jeopardy by the time January 1 rolls around.
Okay.
So it's my understanding that he's currently working on that stuff as we speak, and so we should be able to have that all squared away.
Cool.
Yep. And obviously that's going to be contingent upon his hiring as well.
Of course.
If he doesn't have a certification or it's suspended, there's not much I can do with it until it's squared away.
Right.
So, yeah. So, looking forward into that window of making sure that that person is squared away and he's good to go as well. Yeah. So we don't have to make any drastic changes or huge issues to deal with.
Okay. So I had asked you about body cams,
Yes, sir.
and you sent forward a memorandum.
Right. Yep.
What is what's the status on the American Homeland Security grant?
Never got a call back yet. And I've been off duty today, actually, so tomorrow when I go in, I'm going to reach out to the grant person that gave me the information early on in this past fall, and see if I can get that answered as to how that money is disseminated. I'm not sure if you can, if you break it down to a 5-year, separated 5 years, or whether you just pay for it up front. I'm not really sure how that works. So I need to get an answer on that.
Well, you've got a total of $34,442
Correct.
and 10 cents.
Yes.
So I don't see a lot of reason for, if there's a, excuse me, if there's a 50% grant from Natural Homeland Security, I don't see a whole lot of reason for that payment.
I understand. Yep.
$17,000.
Right. Yep. No, I understand. And I think it's on, I wish I had my page 3 maybe of that invoice. It is broken down to payment details over 5 years, if just so that people are educated in the sense that if it was to be carried out over a 5-year span, it's roughly going to be this, the first payment's going to be the wallet, because we have the equipment and stuff like that we need to get. And then after that, it phases out for the next 4 years to be a little bit less money. But total will stay the same. Yes, 34 and change. Yep, absolutely. So
I guess my question is, what's the likelihood that this 50% grant from the state is going to happen, or what's the timing on that?
looking back at the history, they've been having grants for body cameras for the past several years. I think that the general consensus at the highest state level is the more body cameras that we get out there, probably the better. So I think that they're really pushing money into this avenue. I have yet to speak to somebody that has been denied a grant for these, but I can't say that everybody's going to win, right? So, but I do think that it's a very good, with the fact that we're a 4-man department, I do think that we are in a good position. We are in a good position to get the grant. So after I get some answers as to how this operates, I think my goal would be is to turn around and go ahead and apply anyways. If for some reason something at the town level doesn't compute, or this year, meaning 25, isn't the good time frame or whatever, we can always let the grant go. You know, I don't know that I should wait.
Well, I was hoping
You know,
to push
so.
it into 24. Is there any possibility of that?
Into 25?
25?
I'm sorry, I said
It's okay.
24.
It's okay.
Which is what I meant.
No, I get it. I think that, if I'm not mistaken, I think you were saying to me CIP was thinking 26 and you wanted to try to get into 25, or at least ask the board.
Okay, I think
So.
you misheard me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Because what I was thinking is, if we're only looking at a $14,000 purchase,
Yes,
is there some way to move it into 24?
got it.
And if there isn't, then we won't. But I think you
Okay.
still should push for the grant.
Okay. All right.
I mean, you just to enlighten the public, it does alleviate or remove the need for the car cams. So you could bring together a dollar amount of what those car cams cost and
Okay.
the operation costs of those, if you want to enlighten the board a little bit on that.
Okay.
I mean, it just makes more sense to, we don't have cameras in 2 of the cars currently, they were installed, and I don't think, if he buys a cruiser, my understanding, we wouldn't put a car camera on that car either. So we're moving towards body cameras
Regardless.
Yes,
regardless.
yes. That's absolutely.
They are more cost effective. I mean, my memory serves me that they're more money than the proposal you've just given us.
Yes.
Primarily because of the storage and the labor part of it, but the car cams have more expensive bulbs.
Yes, and they have to be installed into the vehicles, which is all part of the upfitting at the beginning of it. Yeah, absolutely. I do think that if we can, I do think at some point body worn cameras are the way to go, because again, when the officer leaves the vehicle or anywhere in the front of the vehicle, he still has camera footage that you know, that is something that will be an asset. So I think it definitely is the way to go. We'll make it happen. I'll check on those things tomorrow
Yeah, we can bring
and see what I can get.
Audrey will know when we're meeting again, we're meeting at least one more time, maybe twice. I don't know.
Before the end of the year.
Excuse me.
We can take a look at it.
Okay.
I don't know when Bob's gonna be back.
Okay.
Chief, when you're in tomorrow, you should come see me.
Okay. I can do that.
Yeah, I'd like to take as much off the table as I could as far as the budget is concerned.
Yep.
2024 applications are due by July. The 2025 grant application is due July 2025. But the applications are available online now, and there's probably some financial
So
information.
they're not gonna give the grant until July?
Right.
Okay, well, that's
Okay.
the first I've heard of that, but, okay,
Okay.
so no, in 25.
In 25. Okay.
The question I would have is, if we purchase them now, when the grant date applies.
Retroactive.
Are we doing retroactive stuff?
Okay.
Some of them do work that way.
And is the drone all airborne and driving people crazy out there in the world?
It is at the PD. It is all set. Sergeant Lefebvre has been utilizing it and familiarizing himself with it. So, quite frankly, it is operational. So,
Okay, so we can put that to work in our retribution.
Well,
So,
yeah. Well, you know, yeah.
what we have to do, right?
That's right. That's right. Yep.
All right, anything else
so-
for the chief?
No.
Good to go.
Okay. Thank you very much for your time.
And we don't have 5 to,
I got it. Somewhere I saw an updated agenda thing together.
We don't have transfer station.
so you could, this is, okay, so you'll give us an audit on the vacation accounts for.
I will.
Um, All right. I guess we can go to the consent calendar.
Still want to know how that works out financially.
It would be a liability account, so, that liability account on the balance sheet would have to be higher at the end of the year.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and then paid out essentially as vacation time is taken?
Right, so it wouldn't affect the.
Right, I don't know how, I mean, it's accumulated vacation time that they're looking at move.
Right,
And if they didn't have time to take the accumulated vacation time the year before, are they planning on taking more vacation time in 25?
that's
Well,
what I was
so it's a one-time thing, right? So they're asking us to make an exception this year because of extenuating circumstances in 2024. That doesn't mean that the 100 whatever policy changes. It's just they I mean, essentially what we're saying is, okay, you can do that this year, but you have to take it.
I think I heard the chief is like going to the Bahamas for 2 months.
Hey,
Nice.
I wish I could.
Okay, I'm gonna go to the consent calendar for not to do anything else to do.
And, yeah,
We
he's
just
coming
vote
in.
it, so it won't be long.
They just put in, okay. We got a Provision wants to purchase backup cameras, is that what it is?
Yes, I understand, because the chief in a minute is, I think their camera on the ambulance broke, and they're replacing it with a different system.
And they're looking to do that before year end?
She's walking in right now.
Okay.
Do they have the funds for that? Do we know?
Tell us they do.
I don't know what else they have outstanding.
You're up, Captain.
Don't let your seat get warm.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good time. The fire was quality.
Did you have any questions right off the bat
For the, yes, no, I didn't, for the
update?
update, no.
And would you like that gone through as far as that update?
I don't remember reading anything that I was, like that I felt like I needed extra information on.
We do, when it comes time, Captain Morgan
Yes.
will go over the FEMA
Right, that one I did want
information.
a little more info on.
One thing that I have a couple of questions on, and it has nothing to do with our buildings as far as it goes, but one thing that came up yesterday for, which would be a Parks and Rec item, is that they will be possibly seeking to do a meter for somewhere in this area for that, so that they don't have to run power from, you know, the power cords across the
From the
the driveway from the
department.
fire station and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
There's no power.
There's no power there.
at the house?
No, that's all been disconnected. Everything's been disconnected as far as it goes. It could be done easily. We currently have it at the school in the field. So basically, it's a electrical outlet.
Somebody puts a box in, yeah.
They put the box in, and the meter is further over on the pole. And it costs $34.60 a month to have that in place. Obviously, that's not something that they budgeted for 2025, but Mr. Tufts had asked me what they would face if they were looking to do that. So basically, it's a matter of having an electrician, give them a plan.
Is that Adam Cable? Is that how
There's a pole
There's
very
a pole
close.
right there.
Right.
And
it is? Still want to excavate and put a,
yeah, this piece of this board would be right there. So unlike this one, they went probably about 100 feet to get to this pole. That's not the case in
Right.
in that one.
Right. It's a fairly short distance.
But that would make things much better for the future there in the park and for different stuff. Yeah, well, it all came about yesterday, as far as it goes, when the tree lighting came up, and they had asked, hey, are we gonna leave this cord across the driveway for 10 days?
is the first time that had a tree there?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
And it was like, well, I thought it was just for a day,
What,
because it would be
So
kind
we
of tough for
had-
plowing and,
we had some event there this summer, didn't we?
yeah, in the summertime, the cords come
The cord came
across,
across too.
or a generator or whatever.
Right, right.
So it would make events there in the future much
Yeah,
easier.
it's seems like a reasonable ask, but just something that's not gonna happen.
Just give me your
immediately.
heads.
Yeah, no, I
up
agree.
For that,
Yeah.
as far as it goes, and you can keep those if you need them. My other question is, has anyone mentioned anything with issues with the end of the boat ramp at Pier 19.
Well, we've talked about that over time. I mean, when we did the project, there was discussion about, is there a plank missing or did one break or whatever the story
Right.
was there. And then on a couple of different occasions, we talked about that. In fact, we had talked about using some of the money that we're hopefully gonna get from the state, $100,000 to address that. But we never really got a final answer or, excuse me, a firm answer on what was needed. There was some enlightenment for me.
No, I just, in a couple different occasions, people have mentioned that there's an issue with, I would say, the left side, as far as it apparently drops
Drops
when
off.
when you go in. And I was talking to Matt from the Marina that had worked on the others with the town in the past, and I said, any suggestions on how we tell what is wrong with it? And he suggested that you put a diver in the water, obviously, and look, straight ahead to see if it's undermined or broke off or whatever. But right now, the ice has come up or whatever, so that you really can't
Yeah.
do that. That would probably be like a spring time thing.
And the ice heaters are all in.
Our ice eater is in, not running, because we've had issues in the past with someone complaining about that it was running when there was no ice. So we're just waiting for that to build up. So, but yes, that is something that down the road, I think the town probably should look at. There was a complaint about the rock that was right there on the left, but I think that holds back
Well, it's
a lot of the
nothing-
runoff and
you know,
stuff.
There's nothing we can do about the rock.
Right.
You know, that you need a dredge and fill to work that close to the lake.
Right,
And then also that dead maple.
right.
It's a problem, but I don't know,
But it has, I mean, the issue itself has been brought up.
In the past.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I hadn't
Yeah.
heard anything, so
Yeah.
I didn't want you to be surprised.
Yeah, no,
It
it's,
really comes up when we're talking about the actual project. after
Okay.
that's when it happens.
yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, not unknown.
Yeah. And my other question is email that we just received from Audrey in reference to having stuff in, apparently the last checks that are going to be run on the 26th for that, and you want everything by the 20th. Usually in the past, the way things worked, and I know this isn't the past, but there was until January 20th that everything had to be in, type of deal, like the phone bills, the cable, the internet, because we budget.
Right, that'll run the same,
Yeah.
but if you have ordered new uniforms, for example,
Okay.
and they're not gonna come in, you're not gonna get an invoice, I need that kind of thing, so that they can encumber the fund.
Okay, so I took it
But
as
much-
everything.
As much as
Well, that's good.
possible, because
So,
I have people who get salt and sand and different things that I,
Right, well, so my other question is, furnace dies on the 28th. It died on the 28th. Is that coming out of next year's budget, or is it,
we're on close. Press up.
I'm good.
No, it's gonna come out of this year's operating budget if possible.
Okay, well, that's not what I read in this.
well, normally that situation, my experience is that you'll get a bill almost the same day when they walk away.
No, not always.
Or it'll show when the work.
Not in today's day and
Yeah,
age.
I know it's gonna come in. I mean,
So you just jinxed yourself,
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I see it. I live it every year.
A lot of it is notification. I mean, maybe you don't have the bill in hand, but
Right.
now the office knows to expect.
Okay. Because, for example, we had a backup camera system die on the ambulance.
I saw that.
We're waiting, I had turned in a 30-day,
Quote,
not a quote, but as far as, we would like to have 30 days to pay our bill instead of paying for it with a credit card or whatnot.
Yeah,
But they wanted that back, and I don't have it back.
they have to sign it, I can't.
Okay.
They have it in the file.
Okay,
They can
super.
look at
So-
it when you're back.
So as long as we know that that is in the process, then yes, we could get that to you by the 20th.
Right.
But otherwise, I would be worried about it because I didn't plan for that to die.
The holidays are ending weird.
Yes. So as long as we know the normal stuff is good to go, and it's just,
Your normal stuff doesn't turn around until the 30th.
Right.
So it's
Right.
when you get it to China.
yeah,
Yeah, it's-
because otherwise, we'd have to be budgeting for like 13 months for phone bills and stuff, so
Right.
to make up for that. Awesome. So we're still far ahead of last year on all the calls and inspections. Currently, we're at 699, to give you an idea as far as, so we'll break 700 before the end of the year for this. But this was as of 12/10. So. I don't have,
So your fire calls are quite a lot.
yeah, over 100. And as far as, what do you have for questions in reference to the FEMA money?
Well, I mean, can you walk through a little bit?
Yeah.
Sure, so we've at this point received all but 2 of the checks, I believe, from that whole reimbursement process. There should be a total of 6.
Yep.
The 4740 storm, that was the last July of 23, that created most of the reimbursable costs. One of the big projects there is the Sodom Road culvert. That's the culvert, it's about 500 feet in from Middle Road. It's not the primary culvert, it's the overflow culvert for the Williams Field there.
Yep.
That was damaged. We made some repairs. It was damaged again. It's still temporarily fixed.
Wow.
FEMA will spend 75% of the money to fix that. They've already issued us the check for it. The 25% remainder is our responsibility. So the town already got the check for the $57,813.03. The caveat with that is they want the project completed by March 14th. Obviously, that's not a great time of year to be replacing a culvert
Not
with winter
really, no.
maintenance and letting concrete cure. We can apply for an extension, and it's possible to do it. We just have to ask for that
Right.
extension.
Because is it a plastic culvert?
It's a corrugated steel,
Oh, it's steel.
yeah. Which is like kind. It's all, everything's being replaced in like kind with the exception of the field stone stacked head wall will become a concrete one, and they're gonna add concrete wing walls to the inlet side of it.
Gotcha.
So there is some mitigation or upgrades that we were
Right,
eligible
right,
for
right.
to try to prevent it from happening again.
Sure, yeah. Not a
So
bad
for
idea.
the cost that we're gonna spend for it, it's great to have it. That replaces the guardrails surrounding it on both sides of it. It's the whole thing.
Is-
So it would be in discussions with the road agent in the beginning, he was gonna get an external quote for it to apply for the grant. In the end, he supplied an in-house quote for it. We don't care how the work gets done. That's up to how you guys wanna procure that work. But we figured we'd bring it to you guys and you could work with him to actually move forward with it.
Right.
There are DES and Army Corps of Engineers need permitting for it. We've started the communications with them. They're aware that the project's happening. They don't really have any problems. They just need a design and submission from the road agent. So those are the 2 conditions that have to be met to meet that grant requirement. So we're there ready for it. If you're willing, or happy with it, I can write that extension request for winter maintenance and seasonal
I would
help,
think-
and we'll push it for the summer. Can we?
I would agree with that. Do you agree
Yeah,
pushing it?
Well, there's a couple of things. Couple of elements. First, we need the extension. The second is the total project cost $77,000?
Correct. Yeah.
All right. So we'll need to know
The town contribution will be 19,271.
right, but in order to warrant this, we need to plug in the gross.
Yeah, so I can get you those actual figures. It's attached. I don't know if it was it.
Yeah, they have the whole
So that,
package.
yeah,
It's attached to
packet
the
next
back
to
of
you
it.
has all those numbers.
So there was another, I think there were two things.
There are, and that's one of my big questions, because we have that other Sodom Road culvert, and I don't know which culvert that's talking about.
Do you have another Sodom Road culvert that I brought to the table,
No.
or that the town is working on something?
The town's working on it, but I don't know what end of Sodom Road, or how many culverts are on Sodom Road.
Yeah, so
Oh, well, how big a project is it?
They have it in their folder.
$70,000.
So that's not that huge culvert. I would think that would be more towards the Evans property.
$631,000.
Well, then that's the,
So this is so
Get a
good.
cemetery at the end, I think. There's one there.
yeah.
Yeah.
That feels true.
So this is similar to the Canyon Road culvert.
Culvert.
Where the town picks up 10%.
Mhm.
I don't know, copy of it.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yes, as long as we're not doing the same project.
yeah,
Right.
federal funds can't do twice for the
That's my
same project.
concern,
Right.
So the culvert that we're referencing in that packet, it has the GPS coordinates, the length, the width, all of the details surrounding that one on the whole project
Yeah,
narrative.
I got the GPS and this one as well.
So we can just
we should
compare and we
Yeah.
can, I can map both of them if you'd like it printed on larger paper.
Even
Audrey brought
even a
that
good
up.
ballpark of the
Just so that
address,
You can see
you know.
the culvert that we're talking about, and if you have coordinates for the other one, we can plug that in as well.
Yeah, I got this one. So. I don't think we have a map here. Let's see.
Because we already did quite a bit of work to one of them that's in the center. Maybe in your time, as far as it goes.
Central Sodom Road?
The bridge.
Yeah, by Vicky Lyons's
Yeah.
house.
Oh,
Yeah.
The bridge?
It's a bridge.
Yeah,
And that was a repair.
yes,
And there was no federal money involved in that, I don't think.
right.
And then we've got Union Wharf Road culvert. Once again,
But Chris isn't involved with those are the ones we're doing with
Right.
HEB.
okay, so these are just both green ones. We just,
They
Yeah,
seem
so-
a bit different.
so I just need to get,
So I'll get that second set of coordinates from you and I'll map them both, so you can see it as a large scale project.
Now, would you have to have HEB involved in this where it needs all the proper paperwork for?
I'm wondering if the road agent can provide the necessary plans for HEB, they would put in what they know the state needs.
Right.
yeah, I mean, on the smaller job, the $50,000 or $60,000 job, which we're putting in $20,000, I think that's a road agent.
Mhm. Just as long as he can fill out the proper
Maybe
permit.
you could do
Yeah.
that, I don't know.
What's that?
I don't know if you can do those permits for the state.
Oh, I don't know either, but I'm just saying that size job is more of a road agent job. That
Right, you can't do it.
$800,000 job, he's
Oh,
got
yeah,
other things to
yeah.
do than that.
So who do we get for the engineering part then?
Oh, we have HEB we've used in the past, I don't know whether we're using it again.
I can ask them for a quote.
Yeah. So why don't we wait on both of those until we get some sort of feedback from HEB on how to.
But you want Catherine to go forward with an extension.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
Can we shoot for a date that I can put in it that we're gonna plan to have that done by, like
March.
October?
For,
Yes.
And end of October gives them
Perfect.
So
plenty of time to,
You got a 6-month extension of which is
Okay.
September. Yeah, it needs to be within the building season,
Yep.
if you will.
yeah.
Okay.
6
We'll do
months
that.
seems pretty reasonable.
We'll CC a copy to you.
And these numbers on here, Chris, the DR 4740, is that one storm?
So the 4740 was the storm July 23. And then the DR 4799 was the December storm of, the April storm of 24.
April of this year, yeah.
Yeah.
The heavy snow.
Correct.
Yeah.
So most of that one was debris removal and then just protective measures, the fire department closing roads, the police department assisting with road closures and detours, and then the highway department cleaning up debris.
Right.
The other storm was mostly fixing the roads that were damaged.
That were damaged by the rain, yeah.
But $115,000 were already received, correct? And 57,000, you're saying you're gonna have to go into.
Fixing that one specifically.
Right, I'll have to put it,
She's got the breakdown
I'll
of,
have to go below the line and grant,
Right.
and,
But the other one, the first one is this.
all right, that drops into the general
That
fund.
can go right into the general fund.
Yeah. And then the bottom ones, that money, that was received so far will come out of the current expense budget.
Because we already paid the expenses.
Correct.
And, yeah, I mean, in your spare time, Captain, maybe you could put together a calendar of events and time spent on this sort of thing, so we can get a feel for what we need to be budgeting for this. It's really not.
my time spent,
Yeah.
It's already
it's
there.
all reimbursable. It's already this, they
I
are,
appreciate that, but let's say.
but it's all charted and
Yeah,
broken down. I
and
can just
you
send
have
it to you.
Replace your effort
Yeah.
with somebody else. So I think we need to keep track of how it works.
Yep. It's all already.
Sounds like you already did
In the
it.
project, yeah. In order to get reimbursed, I had to give them that spreadsheet, so I can, sure.
Okay. And are you going with the chief of police to the Bahamas?
You're paying.
You're always paying, just so you know.
It's warmer than the Grand Canyon.
Do you want to ask them about the backup camera and your consent calendar? Did you have any questions? They just opened it right when you were backing in.
Sure.
So Provision Solutions, we've got something,
Estimate?
has my name on it that I'm supposed to sign, but
The credit app.
The credit app
Is all
is
that is.
basically all it is.
established credit, I thought it's a $5,000 camera, right?
It's a $3,000.
$3,000,
Or is it-
but I think it's a $5,000 credit limit or.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we need to establish a credit line?
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
so that we can pay net 30 instead of using their credit card to pay up front.
Oh, I see, I see.
Right.
So they just want to
Okay.
know that we have credit and we're not gonna
Okay.
walk on the bill.
Okay.
So it's just a credit application so that we can
So-
proceed with that instead of.
Okay, so
A lot of the different companies that we deal with today
That's
want
just how,
all of that paperwork up front to establish net 30.
okay.
And-
CYA, it
and-
sounds like.
Otherwise, the credit card, which we do have $5,000 on the credit card now. That was just up recently,
Hmm.
but we would be, maxing it out.
Right, it would be, yeah.
And
It's not
expecting
really what
to
it's
use
intended
that
for.
vendor in the future for similar replacements.
So it's
Right.
It
not,
creates.
we're not using Lakes Region Fire apparatus or anything like that. They're gonna be able to use a camera?
Correct.
Right.
We may work with them to do some of the installation
Okay.
after
Or
some
a
of the hard
different
wiring
company.
or somebody else, but that's just to purchase the equipment.
Okay.
And the cameras, how much, 3,000 of them?
In change, I don't have. that.
3,080, I
I
thought
think,
you
with
said.
shipping, yeah.
It's, you have it budgeted, okay,
We have it left in the vehicle maintenance,
okay,
and we've accounted for it for
and it has failed.
this year, yes.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna entertain a motion to sign this.
I'll second that.
Okay, I make a motion then. You second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You need 2 signatures on here?
I don't think so.
Because you got
No,
Robert
please.
Murray here as
Oh, I
well.
did, yeah.
Do you want to change that to David? I gotta pencil his name in. You could be the chairman for a second.
I can do that, Yours isn't legible.
You want me to just cross that name out and have David put his own name?
Okay, sure.
I do, you do, yes.
Write your name on the
The
first
chairman.
one.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks for staying home.
yes.
Right.
Okay, while we've got you here, well, we have to wait until the wee hours of the morning after the hearing. The state of New Hampshire's coming in on October is not the conflict surgery.
I thought it was a great presentation that they had done as far as for that.
It's not gonna alter your,
There may be some issues as far as, you know, people stopping, and I think in the long run, it may cause, you know, more issues than it's gonna solve. I think that what has been put in place with the
current-
stop signs and the lighting has cut back, you know, drastically on
specifically
that.
to the operation of the fire department, does it affect your operation at all?
Like what it is you do.
As far as accidents and stuff, you know, us responding to accidents there, obviously it's gonna affect us. I mean, it takes, we're treating patients, we're transporting people, you're doing traffic control there for whatever period of time, and it's a bad intersection to do that.
But it's not gonna affect any of some.
Your ability to respond
No.
to anything.
No, that's not,
We're
that's not.
stopping, in the
we
direction
stop.
we respond from, we're stopping already.
Yeah.
Right.
And we're slowing down, you know, if we're coming down through.
Would the 2 current flashing stop signs remain flashing?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
And would the 2 new ones also be flashing?
Probably not, it's a state.
Yeah, I mean, that's,
Right.
I would be surprised if they put in flashing lights, to be honest.
I mean,
In case they
the
influence
last
that.
accident that was there was because someone thought that the person coming up through was going to stop, and she turned into him. And you're very familiar with
Yeah.
with the case as far
Yeah.
as that goes. But that's not, you know, those stop signs are not going to stop the, you know, failure of
Well,
someone
there's-
abiding by the law.
There's stop signs at the junction of 171 and 109,
Right.
and that's, I think, the most dangerous intersection in Carroll County.
Yeah. And I mean, it does the job there at 171 and 109,
Okay,
but,
unless you're kind of backwards stuff from the
Right.
road, so they decided that they're gonna, you know.
the person decides that they're gonna pull out in front of you.
I think that improvement made a big difference in the intersection to begin with, to make
Right.
initial stages, but I'd love to see all 4 signs in the same condition of what's there now. I don't know if we can influence them and encourage them to do that, or
So,
down the road.
If they're gonna put
we-
stop signs,
They're adding 2.
they all be flashing.
Well, so,
Do you have a yea or nay as a resident?
yeah.
As a resident. I think that the stop signs are doing pretty good as far as it goes.
So no to a four-way?
Probably not,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
you're trying to stop coming down the hill and
If
start
there are any
going up.
recommendations that we brought up, maybe I always know what I brought up, but the signage for 171, how it intersects section coming up, is ridiculous. I mean, one of them was behind a bush, the other was
Right.
behind a tree. So there's no adequate notification of an intersection.
Right.
That the state is in control of. So now they want to put stop signs up. They have to notify the people on the way down or the way up that there's a stop coming. How's that signage gonna work?
Right.
You know?
It would have to be put up there somewhere, right?
yeah.
Well, if they put it in the same place that the current signage is, that's how I would know.
I have a question for these fellows. It's freezing rain, you've come from the transfer station, you're heading up 171 to the intersection, and you have to stop. Do you have on-spot chains or anything that would allow you to get going again on ice?
On the fire trucks, yes.
Okay.
We do have the chains that'll get us going,
What
but
about the ambulance?
the ambulance is four-wheel drive, but it doesn't have the on-spots, no.
Okay, so,
So no,
I mean,
not
it's
in
pretty
that
obvious
case.
that snowplow's not gonna stop.
Right,
Just sign or otherwise.
right.
Not gonna happen.
I think it'll be really tough, especially in the beginning, for people to get used to that. Not only, I know that they said that they would put signs out months in advance and stuff like that, but, how long has the flashing signs and stuff been there, and someone thinks that the vehicles coming through don't have the right of way?
Good.
You wanna vote as president, Chris?
No.
Fire
Like,
No, I don't have a vote.
Yeah, abstain for that.
Abstain.
right. And I probably should have stayed too, but.
No, I don't have any further.
I guess we're done with you guys.
I do think that if it ever came up, as far as that house came for sale or whatever, that it would be very in the town's best interest to look at that. Because that's,
We looked at it years and years ago. And we brought in to exercise our warrant on that particular deal. But I've heard it may come up for sale again. So, see what happens.
yeah.
All right,
Thank you for your time.
Yeah.
thank you. We're still on the consent, back to the consent calendar?
Do you want to take that and we'll scan your copy?
Yep.
Okay. No, this, the form you just signed. Thank you.
Okay, we're on the consent calendar. The first is the hazardous mitigation grant program for Canaan Valley culvert, which was $755,470.80. And our cost was $83,941, which was the amount of the warrant
Yep.
we passed last year. And they require all three signatures on this? It's highlighted, it's got three names.
Yes, and this, I think that's one that has many, many initial pages at the bottom,
Yeah,
Yep.
so,
and all three of us have to initial.
Yeah.
I volunteered not to go bring the paper to Bob.
All right, so I'm gonna make a motion that we sign and initial this form.
yeah, and if two of you do it, that's the majority.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, all those in favor?
All right.
Aye. And then we've got a hazardous mitigation for Sodom Road culvert. And we don't know if this is the same one.
This is the one that was in,
Sounds like it isn't, and Chris and I will determine that tomorrow.
Okay, this is
So-
the state.
This is only acknowledging what's required if they do grant it to us.
so then we'll table this particular piece
There's no
as a result.
signature.
There's no signature required?
Yeah, there
Okay.
is, I have it down.
Yeah, there is. But it sounds like because we're not sure,
I wouldn't table it because I can just withdraw it in a heartbeat.
oh, okay.
And this sounds like a larger.
Okay, so this is the. Yeah, it does. But that's a pretty large culvert that is in Williamsfield. So this is, New Hampshire Homeland Security Emergency Grant funding for, a culvert on South Road. To wit, we will have to spend the federal funding award was $631,307, and or that's what the federal government pays. $701,453. The non-federal funding, the amount that the town would have to put up would be $70,145. So this would be done in the form of a warrant article like the one we did last year.
Okay. That was going to be my next question, is how we're paying for it.
That's how we do it. We present it to the voters and they decide. So I'll make a motion to sign this.
I will second the motion.
All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. It looks as though it's just one signature required.
That sounds like you.
Okay. Can I have you fill the rest of that one
I can do it.
here? Thanks. And we've got another grant for the same New Hampshire Homeland Security Emergency Management Grant for a culvert on Union Wharf Road. And let's see if we've got a figure yet. The total amount of federal funding is $869,295, or the total job is $869,295. The town of Tuftonboro would be liable for $86,929, which is 10% of the construction cost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the same conditions.
Yep.
It's a 14-foot wide with one walls and 100 feet of roadway reconstruction on each side of the bridge. So that must be the one.
It's pretty sizable.
Oh, it's 20 Mile Brook, so it's right. It's by a store Spence, whatever that is.
Yeah, you got it.
Governments. So I'll make a motion to sign this one as well.
Yep, with the same intention of going for a warrant. I will second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, so that appears to be $1.5 million worth of federal money coming back to Tuftonboro of our tax dollars.
More government printing.
It's done. Do we have other action items? I don't know that we do.
You have an agreement with Waste Management. I did hear back from Peter LaChapelle, and their legal is not willing to change any of the standard terms and conditions.
All right, well, I'll make a motion. I'm trying to remember that change I would have made, but I'll make a motion that we sign the waste management agreement for Waste College.
I'll second.
Any discussion?
I feel like we've already had it.
Yeah, it was the force majeure event that was troubling.
That was yeah.
It was a little iffy. All those in favor? Oh, I've got that.
I already second.
Motion second.
Yep.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And okay, so that too. There's also a, I guess we'll get to that at some point.
There was a transfer facility policy in there, and Bob's is good with it, if you wanted to look at it now.
All right. Did we already voted on that? I think we
No,
Oh, we did.
I don't think you had really strong discussion on it.
Sorry, which
I
one?
don't know if it's in there, it might be in your green folder, Jeff.
Okay.
Yes.
So this is a sticker requirement for the transfer facility. This-
Right.
We don't already have this?
No.
So as I recall, we just requested a couple of minor changes to it, correct? This was already put before us. I believe on the 2nd, I could be wrong on that date, but, and I think the sticking point was the last paragraph.
Right, so,
2 free stickers.
Yeah. And actually, well, the sticking point, I think, was additional stickers of $20 each with a limit of, originally it was written with a limit of 2 or something like that, and we just said,
why have a limit?
why have a limit? Just,
And so that was
$20,
removed.
why do we go jack it up to $20?
Because that's what similar towns charge.
with the assumption that you're already getting 2 free.
You get
So
2
if
free.
you have to get a third or fourth,
Does this conflict at all with this policy of giving out dump stickers? Yeah.
What do you,
Well, it seems like it does, because there was I thought I read somewhere that we were gonna give everybody 4.
well, I mean, there is a cost to the stickers for the town.
All of the stickers last year cost us $3,500.
so the, I think what you're remembering is, I think what you're remembering is the previous draft said maximum of 4 per household.
Okay, but does the sticker policy that Bob is looking to do have a description of who gets what?
This is it,
This is it?
yeah,
Okay, then we're not gonna do this. I'm
okay. It's okay with it,
not okay with it.
okay.
I'm not gonna discuss it with just Dave.
All right, we'll discuss it. We'll do it,
Dave was the author.
we'll table it till the work session.
The other thing that's, I see there's a conflict of interest. Also, is that in conjunction with our FEMA, state university applications?
Yes,
Okay.
and the only thing I was able to find that existed already was a 2009 Code of Ethics and Conflict of Interest. So, Ashley's helping me with these policies, and what we added to this one, and Ashley, we added the sheet.
Gives you maturity. And we're getting gratuity for it.
So you can't be bribed.
Oh, no.
I mean, I'm no lawyer, but the policy, I didn't,
And we ran this on legal, by the way, in the lawyers.
Yeah, I'm gonna see her tomorrow. She's coming in tomorrow.
Okay. So we need this
Okay,
for the 19-mile grant, 19-mile pier grant.
yeah, and this is like one of the smallest, easiest ones.
Okay.
I get up.
All right.
I mean, 2.5 pages seems
I would
enough to,
entertain a motion to have us sign this after legal has
after review.
reviewed
I don't have a problem with that, sure.
it. Legal second.
I will second that motion, yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So get legal on it, and then
Okay.
we voted to sign it, we just gotta sign it.
Okay.
Is that the same with the code of ethics?
No, that was just what you knew what was in place before. This code of ethics is 2009. And
And that was signed, right?
I've never been able to find a signed copy. That's why we updated it to this, what you just approved.
All right, so we need this, change the signatures from William Stockman, Daniel Duffy, and Carolyn Sunquist. to the
This
current board.
is just for reference.
Okay,
It's already on here.
okay, all right. It's all in the conflict policy?
Yeah,
All right. All right.
he's good.
Is that it? One more difficult.
That's for that.
That's the end of action items.
Now you know correspondence.
We got 2 minutes here.
Yep.
Jesus de Ayala? I don't know what that is. In the correspondence file, we have the final time assessment for school taxes. Which doesn't look like it's changed that much. So the town of Tufton Road in 2025 will pay, God, the print is so god.
No, it just came in, but I wanted them to see it because it was one of the questions.
$5,747,966 in school taxes to Governor Wentworth Regional High School, regional school.
How much did you say?
577.
No, it's
Mm.
8.something million.
Yeah. 5,747,966.
Well, that's, the subtotal is basically 8.2.
8.2 million.
8,243,845 is the local subtotal. So you've got other and then adequacy.
Oh, I forgot the other, I'm sorry. So it's $8,243,845. So we changed the state schools tax. I got a report from Ivy Robichaud about, and I think that's how she pronounces it, about the solar installation at the transfer station. The permitting is done with the exception of the DES final permitting, although the wetland survey has been done. The federal, they've cleared the FAA 7640 screening and no further federal permits should be required. I'll let her know that there are no local permitting, no local building permits required. The notice to proceed should happen in February or March, which would put the construction in the second quarter of 2025. I asked a couple of questions, one of which is answered by saying there are no current or anticipated supply chain or equipment availability issues, and no significant change in the incentive tax ITC paid by the Solar Investment Tax Credit, which was enacted in 2006. Bush administration.
What was her response to that first question?
Which one?
Sorry, I don't have it in front of me there.
This one?
The availability of supplies.
Yeah, that one.
Okay. There are no current or anticipated supply chain or equivalent.
Oh, okay, so that was a statement, not a question, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought that was the question, my bad.
And we actually have most of that stuff in stock.
Okay.
Okay, Verizon, they sent us a letter, and I don't know whether Vertical Bridge is part of Verizon, or how does that work? Take to the second.
What's the gist?
Vertical Bridge is gonna buy the 2 cell phone towers that are on town property, the one at the fire station and the one up at town garage.
Yep.
And they will be, so this is between Verizon and Vertical Bridge, there's a $3.3 billion tower transaction, and we're just a very small part of that. Vertical Bridge will then be responsible for the lease payments on the property, on those two properties. We got two of those.
Okay.
It was all approved by the FCC, so I'm sure it's all great. And then we've got Tucker Free Library. Budget statement. Mitchell Group, our attorneys, is having a $10 an hour increase in their hourly rate,
Across the board?
starting for, well, pretty much across the board, because it's the 3 attorneys that we use.
I didn't know if that included clerks and stuff. But it probably doesn't say. It looks like there's a,
Including what I'm saying.
like clerks or paralegals.
Chris, Candace, and Marissa are all at the current rate, so that stays the same.
Okay.
So that's- And have a happy holiday.
Thanks.
Got a thank you letter from Lakes Region Planning Commission on hosting the hazardous waste reduction day. And the minutes and approval for the county budget. So if you want to take a look at that, just generally doesn't do my head in. And State of New Hampshire Department of Transportation. This is the letter concerning the meeting we're going to start.
No, this is actually a significantly overdue letter.
From
And
2023.
23, they're not going to do a traffic study. Because I called Mr. Lambert at the state and I said, help? What does this mean?
Okay, so this letter,
It says they're not going to do a traffic
it's
study.
dated November 17th, this is the
It's
first
a
we're
true
hearing about it.
thing. It's a true thing.
Just came in?
Yep.
Huh.
Would it go USPS?
So is that damn post office?
I'm sorry, did that come out loud?
So we will have no definitive information from the traffic study regarding this intersection
Correct.
meeting that we're gonna have later. Not much later, though. I think that's, do you have an update from our town administrator?
Are we gonna have time to do that though?
I think, I don't know why not.
Yeah, I don't have a huge update.
So let's make the state wait.
So I drafted you the list chip for the warrant articles. I don't know if we might want to revisit that a little bit, but
Is that what we're gonna be talking about next week?
yes.
Are you gonna share it? Are you just gonna keep it
I'm just going to keep it over here. There's a CIP meeting tomorrow that I'll be going to. This was the CIP listing.
Is there any major changes from the meeting, the budget committee meeting?
And here is the list of,
It's a few changes.
and we looked up the various warrant articles
Yeah.
to see what the different funds were. How did I lose my pen? That's this. So out of the capital reserve funds that we have, we confirm that the balance, I think it's approximately $1,500 for the fire station.
Mhm.
That could probably be dissolved and go back into the general fund. The capital reserve for the cemetery funds is for maintenance of cemeteries, including abandoned. So I believe we want to have a
Right, that's the expendable trust for maintenance.
Right.
So which one is fire? Yeah, this one. It's in that page.
Yep.
Okay, the fire expendable trust, is that what you're saying? Is the department, building the department?
Correct, so it's
Yes.
1,348, I think, probably,
Right. Okay.
do away with that. The one above that, the cemetery, has 29,000 in it. And they want to put in a $10,000 warrant article, is restoration, and that would work.
Okay.
The other one that you had me look into and get legal opinion on was the transfer station. And the way that was worded, she feels that the backhoe can be repaired, the rental would not be covered by the warrant article.
Okay, so that's the $103,188 balance on that one?
Yes.
Okay.
The one above that, the 19-mile Brook ETF from 2020. The way that's worded is for that study, so I think you could use that instead of putting it in the warrant article for next year's study. You could use the funds from that one. I haven't talked to Steve particular about it yet.
Okay. And the Millville eradication,
That one is just gonna sit there, and in the event that there is
an eradication.
eradication needed, we have the funds to do it.
So we can't use that for anything other than eradications of these annual bills of $20,000. That comes from somewhere else. Comes from-
Right, that comes from a grant, and then the selectmen increased that budget this year.
Yep.
And so hopefully there won't be a need to tap into this, but there won't be a need to ask residents for it for a long time.
Okay. And I guess we don't have that, somebody else has it somewhere. For a scholarship fund.
Yeah, we can probably get rid of the 20 cents on the truck too.
I'm sorry?
There's a highway truck one that has $20 left in it.
Right.
We can probably get rid of that fund too.
So what I did, David, just so you know what he's been working on his own articles.
Mhm.
Split the evening and
Neighborhood. Yep.
then fire engine payment comes out. Police payment will be the third one we do. And then, $40,000 into
The
the fire
fund,
engine-
capital reserve. Thank you.
Yeah, capital reserve, we're gonna pay for in 10 years. SCBA, we've got some money in there. I don't think it's $160,000, is it?
I believe it was 175. 175,000.
Well, yeah, 160 plus the 15 from capital reserve.
Okay. Airboat, we've got a commitment of $50,000 from the fire department on that, so the total out of taxes is gonna be $75,000. The police vehicle stays the same. Body cameras, we need to look at, well, we already asked the chief about the grant possibilities there. That should be 50%, so that should end up being
17.
17,000 against taxes. The highway garage, I thought we had enough in that already.
For the whole project?
No.
No, he wants 240 for the whole project, and they were
He's got-
recommending 100.
I'm sorry. He's got $50,940, and no plan, no bid, no design. So I'm not prepared to recommend, but my brother David might be, that's $75,000. unless we wanna just continue saving money, but I have no idea what that thing's gonna cost us.
I couldn't say.
I don't think I believe what you can say either. At any rate, and then the compactor building is repairs that we have to those compactor buildings that we have bids on, and it's a little less than $50,000, but the warrant will be $50,000.
Mm-hmm.
And the transfer station roof, which has the leaking problem and the mold is 42. You need to take the 10 grand off the bottom here, because we're not putting 10 grand
In the cemetery?
So this is just the beginning.
So the transfer station equipment, is that something for discussion
I think it
next
needs to
week?
be discussed.
Right, we've got
I've heard
$105,000
multiple things.
into that,
Right,
in that
and-
account now, and we don't have a figure yet for what a replacement is gonna cost, but,
Do we really know what the equipment's gonna be yet? Okay.
well, we have some idea, but we don't know.
Well, I got the impression that we still haven't, there's a conflict there that we need to discuss.
Well, there's also repairing PC's got. So
Right.
Okay, their equipment currently has $103,133 on it.
So 103K.
So
The quote to repair, I think, was 18,000.
I don't know, we're gonna have to dip into that for that.
And then, I know, but if they open it up and find more, that's when.
For some reason I had 25 in my head, but
No more in a couple weeks.
Anything else there? Pass, sorry.
No, that's good.
are we? Yeah, we're a little past.
Is the state here?
No, the state's not coming tonight. The selectmen, the state, it's all your shit.
Why am I defending their project?
We're not.
No,
We're
no,
just getting recommendations.
So,
All right, I'm gonna declare a public meeting open. This is to discuss the proposed four-way stop at the junction of Durgan and Ledge Hill and Route 171. I think we had a meeting with the state 3 months ago and made our positions known. And their position is the four-way stop is the only viable alternative. But we certainly want to hear from the public.
Their recommendation was defensible to their, as much as they were willing to say, and they could defend it. And if you have any questions about that, we can answer those questions. Whether you agree with them, that is another matter, but their presentation was pretty clear.
can you read the gray part of that piece of paper in front of you?
Great.
Yes, please.
Great, but if you wish to be heard, I'm not gonna ask people to step forward. State your name and address and your position on the matter, and you'll be allowed as much time as I wanna give you. It says 2 minutes, but
Yeah,
I
2
think
to
if
3
you-
minutes.
if you're interesting and, entertaining, it might run over a little bit, I don't know.
I would also, I'm going to add to that if
More to the gray area.
yeah, that if it's already been stated, it really doesn't need to be stated a second
I don't
time.
mind working it now. I mean, I don't mind.
But I want to,
All of your emails, if you sent an email, have been printed and.
yes, we have them.
And,
here.
I did a tally, so,
We did have, not to prolong the selectmen's posture, but we did ask the fire department, the chief and the captain who were in tonight, how this would affect their activities. We also asked them how they felt it would affect accident activities on the road. And my take from that is their collective opinion is the lit stop signs have done more to alleviate the accident issues, then, and stopping in four directions is gonna be, it'll be confusing for a while, until people get used to it, if that actually happens. But I think my reading, and others can tell me if I'm mistaken, and I have been mistaken. If we don't recommend it, they won't do it. So, I mean, it's not as if we're totally powerless. So, I'm gonna open it up.
Could I just ask what other options were presented at this, to the state?
I need everyone to please state their name.
Oh, I'm
and
sorry.
address.
My name's Pam Wilson. I live at 130 Mountain Road.
Okay, we did offer, or suggest a flashing, caution stoplight, similar to the ones that they've installed at Ball Peak and at, the old age home down 109, what's the name of that?
Sugar Hill.
Sugar Hill. Their position on that, when it finally came down to nuts and bolts, was that that becomes a capital project. They're not willing to go forward with a capital project at that intersection. The stop signs are not a capital project.
Circle was not on the table as well.
What?
A traffic circle.
Oh, yeah. We'd have them in for that.
If you were putting a, oh, sorry, Susan Weeks, 14 Cannon. If you're putting a roundabout in, you've got to remove some houses, don't you?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's not, roundabout's not on the table.
Yeah.
Not on the
I
table.
mean,
Yeah, you're-
were there any other options besides the 4 stoplights or a flashing caution light?
Not that I know of.
Were
I
they
mean,
not
one of
to-
the things that I did mention, and I mentioned it tonight to the fire department, is the placement of the signs alerting people of a coming intersection, which are virtually invisible at highway speeds or even at walking speeds. So I told or mentioned to the state that they need to do something about those placement of signs. And if they're gonna put a 4-way stop in, let's say we agreed to that, then that signage notifying you when you come down the hill towards the intersection, you need to be notified that there's a stop coming up. I mean, there's gotta be signage involved there. If they're just gonna put the signs in the same places that they have the current signs, then
So to be clear,
it's not like that helpful.
to be clear, one of the, they did state that there was a plan, if they were to put a 4-way stop in, there was a plan to prepare the public for that by putting signage up several months in advance. And there's an entire plan that goes into putting this in. So it's not that one day it's there, and then, or one day it's not there, and then the next day it is. There is a plan for mitigating that.
Some weeks.
I haven't been able to think of any other solution other than the 4-way stop. Either you put a roundabout in or you put a 4-way stop.
Yeah, well,
And I think the 4-way stop could work.
The state is sticking with the 4-way stop, and there really isn't, if they're going to do anything, it's that or nothing.
go ahead.
Guy Pike Mill Road, I've mentioned it to the selectmen. The plow trucks are not gonna stop at that intersection coming down 171 or up, especially in freezing rain. And if anybody would like to put money on that, I'll be glad to take your money. That's not gonna happen, for sure.
Well, can I say that we've ourselves, Pam again, have had incidents, can I ask, we're almost to the intersection, coming down the hill. In attempts to turn into our driveway left from coming down the hill, we've not only almost been rear-ended a few times, we've actually had people pass us on the left side as we're turning into our driveway to get past us. So how, yeah, that's what we're saying. It's crazy that people pass you on the left as you're trying to turn into your driveway, because I think they think we're going on to Ledge Hill. So it's like, what do you do to to make just everything like a little more careful, you know, because like I said, we've almost been hit a few times, and we've watched people crossing double yellow lines. Like I said, we're pretty much right at the intersection. So we see people crossing. We see our biggest gripe between all of our neighbors is the truck traffic, the cement trucks.
So may I interrupt for one quick second? I don't believe you stated your yes or no to the request.
Oh, I'm definitely a yes, because
Okay.
something has to be done. But I was just wondering, people attempting to slow down for the stop, I just want to know sort of the genetics of it all, because like I said, when we slow down just to turn in our driveway, it's almost caused accidents. So I didn't know if there was a way to make it more clear to people about the slowing down, how far, because there are no signs right now.
No.
There are no signs to tell people to slow for crossing traffic. There's nothing coming down the hill at all right now at all.
Right. And that's
There's
a,
sign. You just don't know it. There is a
Really?
sign that says that there's an intersection coming up.
How far up is it?
Yeah, where is that? Because
It's just before the church, I think is what it is.
Maggie's house, I don't think so.
There's one coming up the hill too. I don't, last time I looked.
I don't remember.
They're tough to see.
I walk there all the time with my dog, but I don't look up, so I can't say. Sandy Bushman.
That's the problem with that guy that was passing her, she didn't look up.
Right,
Yeah.
well, that's it. I'm 131 Mountain Road, I'm next door to the church.
And your vote is,
Yes, something needs to happen. If my only choice is four-way stop, then I'd say, yeah, I think we should do it.
okay.
But I do think, in fact, I was out 2 hours ago and in my front yard, and somebody locked up their brakes, honked at someone who was turning down onto Ledge Hill. They were coming down the hill, and again, I think they were riding too closely, too fast, and they had a trailer behind them. I mean, it was just, I can't tell you how many crashes I've heard from my house.
Right.
And my husband and daughter have attended 2 this year. You know, I've been down to 2 this year. It's just, in 20 years' time, it's been a lot of crashes. So if you don't live there, you don't realize how often it happens. I mean, there may be somebody that, but I literally hear it in my living room multiple times a year.
We're right across the street from the church, so we're neighbors. And,
But I know that digresses and may even be stuff people have covered already. What I'm wondering is, what about those rumbly strips that, is that kind of
Again,
project?
this, to be clear,
Yeah,
they're not accepting questions about what they can do differently. It's really just,
yes,
you're either gonna get a four-way or you're not.
okay.
There's,
Can I tell you what my thoughts are about a four-way stop without, with just signage and without a, you know, reminding vibration or whatever it is? I think you're gonna find that the trucks that come down, especially maybe the plow trucks, maybe the cement trucks, maybe the logging trucks, but a lot of trucks are gonna have a hard time stopping. And I think, Chip, you referred to it earlier, there's gonna be a time of adjustment that people are really gonna have a hard time. So we need signs, right, to let them know. I think that vibration idea, I don't know how that happens, what kind of miracle it is. I don't know if we all get together in somebody's backyard and just make a bump strip or something, right?
it's not, none of that is an option because it's a state road. It's whatever the state
So,
decides is,
We can put
And
that comment into the state, because I did know they have them on 153.
well, that's what I was gonna
28.
reference. I work at Effingham School,
Yeah.
and 153 put those in after there was a fatal accident. And so somebody figured out how to unlock the capital situation and put in the rumble strips, and I find it makes an enormous difference because you really do get the sense of what's imminently coming about. So if you're not looking up, if you are texting, you're at least feeling a vibration under your feet, which is all sad, but I think maybe the most effective way to make these as successful as possible, right? So that's what I would recommend. But if anybody else has other ideas, if I had to say yes or no, of course, I would say
so you're yes.
I absolutely in favor.
Okay. Mike, I think you were next.
Yeah, Michael DiCarlo, I live at 5 Durgan Road, which is the red house on the right as you pass the house.
And your vote is?
My vote is no.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's my neighbors here who live on Mountain Road, I can understand the issues that you're having, even getting into your driveway. Because I don't think it'll be practical. I don't think, honestly, to echo a comment there earlier, that people will actually stop. I think coming down that road without some sort of warning, people won't stop and do that intersection. Actually, it might be worse. Since I've lived there and the flashing red stop signs have been in place, I've noticed fewer accidents at that. And of course, I'm sure it's been discussed, I'm sorry I'm late, I'm sure it's been discussed that the biggest is from the Ledge Hill crossing over or turning on to Mountain Road because of the gray house and the snow in the wintertime.
Yep.
I commented on the email, my suggestion was for a flashing light and a signage that said dangerous intersection for people on Mountain Road approaching from the south and from the north. I think that would be a lot, that would help a lot to slow people down a bit and get their attention. If the state won't pay for that, find out what the price is and the town can do it, and how I'll write that effing check to get those.
So
We tried to do that, but we tried to do that at 19 Mile Bay, and the state doesn't get into those sort of arrangements,
Right.
because there's ongoing maintenance, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
it's unfortunately it's been stated as pretty black or white.
Yeah.
You're either getting it or you're not.
Yeah, I hear. Even so, I would say that simply because I don't think it'll make a practical difference to what you're experiencing on 171. That's a throughway, and people you'll have more trouble trying to enforce the stop sign and get people to stop. If you want to make a lot of tickets, that's the way to do it. But I don't think people will stop that
Your
stop
last
sign.
name was Cameron?
DeCarlo, DeCarlo.
Okay.
Anybody else?
I think Max was next.
Max is next.
Yes, I'm delivering a letter from my neighbor, John Adamo. Can I give it to Joe? And we share opinion, which is a no on the stop sign. And our preference would be to focus on Durgan Road and Ledge Hill, which are under our control. And my understanding, in my personal experience, I believe all the accidents have been people blowing through the stop signs. Maybe I'm wrong about that. But
I don't mean to cut you off.
yeah,
The last accident was a lady coming down Mountain, turned left onto Ledge, and just hit a guy that was coming up the hill. She said she didn't see him.
yeah.
So that was the most recent one, so I couldn't say all the other ones. There's just been too many.
And I did go back and forth on, because I don't think that the stop sign would affect me very much, because I'm always coming from Durgan or going to Durgan, so I never drive through that intersection of 171, so if there was a stop sign, it wouldn't affect me very much.
Right.
But I think I agree in terms of practicality, that aside, that most of the accidents were people blowing through the stop sign.
Through the stop signs that we control.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's also a flashing light letting you know there's a stop sign ahead, and they still blow through.
Well, I think
So
that since the blinking lights, I mean, we have statistics, haven't there been fewer accidents? I don't,
yes,
On the stop sign.
it's been better.
At the stop sign.
It's
Yeah.
been much
It's
better.
the caution.
and I've also attended, I think, at least 3 accidents where I was the second person on scene, and I directed traffic until the police came, and that's not a criticism. It was just it's a matter of it took a while to show up,
Depending on where they are.
But because I go through there often, I have witnessed a number of accidents. So it is a serious thing, but people drive really, really fast on Durgan. Where I am, from the corner, they pick up speed, go down the hill. This guy's almost run me over a few times. I'm just kidding.
If I was aiming for you, I would have hit you.
Yeah.
So from the perspective of the four-way, your vote, however,
No.
is still a no.
No. I saw in the study that they said the average speed on Durgan was around 40, and it's
That's probably right.
well, I think that the lines that measure that were between the corner and the big curve
Yeah.
Oh, you think
near
that-
your house.
Yeah, just beyond my house.
So as soon as they clear that curve, either going towards my house, they speed up, or if they're coming from my house, they're zooming down.
Did they do the same thing on Mountain?
They had them on Mountain, yeah.
For an average speed, Max?
It was above 40.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah, we got notified today that I'll do it.
Yeah.
That we weren't gonna get a traffic study. The state wasn't gonna do a traffic study on the road, so.
Okay. There are numbers in that, in
I'm
the,
sure there are.
Yeah.
They're not doing it.
Yeah, they literally we just got it today.
anyway, also, I wanted to say thank you for having the public hearing at 6 o'clock.
I agree. I agree with that.
I'm dead serious.
Yeah.
Thank you. And you know my opinion about meeting times, so.
Rick Weeds, Cannon Road, Tuftonboro. I'm a yes on the four-way stop. I don't like the idea of having them or the need for them because I like the rural character of the town. But having been a direct witness to the accident the young lady mentioned over here, which I had filmed and supplied to the police department, where I was stopped, fully stopped on Ledge Hill Road, and the accident was directly between the two cars on 171. You gotta do something, it's bad there, it's really bad. And, you know, I really like Mr. Pike, but his comment about the plow trucks won't stop, I would think that the police department would be interested in that. If it's a state highway with signage coming up for stop signs, that they might like pay attention to them and stop. And if they don't, well then shame on them and they should be addressed. So I'm a yes.
Steve, did you have something?
Yeah, Steve Hunter, number 9 Road. I'm against them, right up front. My second comment is you can't fix stupid. I'm with you.
Is that directed?
So my next comment on that whole situation is there a difference been made since we put up the flashing stop signs?
Yes.
Yeah, they've
Yeah, curious.
So that's a good start there. I don't think with everybody in America that wants to go green and conserve energy, et cetera, that a four-way stop there is gonna help when I'm driving my truck uphill or downhill and having to stop. And I would not want to live where these two ladies live if I'm coming down the hill and I use my Jake brake.
Yeah, that is
But
a
that
concern
was
is
the
the
very
is the
next
sound.
step, is the following year they put a sign up that says no Jake brakes.
No engine brakes.
You know what I mean?
And it
I mean,
really,
it's just a snowball effect.
Well, the trucks are the absolute worst, I say, and I've been aimed at trying to cross over to my mailbox. People way down the road see me crossing, down quite a few houses on the other side of Ledge and Durgan. And I stop to cross the street to get my mail, and they gun it for me. Some of the people, and I've seen logging trucks come down the hill, people come out of Durgan, and the truck literally tilted on its side, and it was gonna go. It was a double tandem, but somehow, God bless him, the guy corrected it, and he was able to keep it from going over. Myself, I'm a victim. My father was killed in a horrific car crash. So every time you gotta go out there and see these poor people, it's like, how many more than one is too many? And I've asked, the state police have come out because I've called, because I was told by the town for the speeders, and to say 40 miles an hour, in my opinion, is ridiculous, because I've seen them go 60 plus. And I've asked, and I was told by the town, and I'm not, no criticism, that they just don't have the staff to patrol. So that's why the statey sit at the church. and mark the trucks and everybody. So we understand that it's like, no, it's all, everybody's hands are tied,
All right.
but it's hard.
I get your point. We currently have one more officer, hopefully by the end of this month or the beginning of January, we'll have a full staff in the police department, so the excuse of not having traffic controls is going to be mitigated.
Eric Rosine, Mill Road. I used to live at the corner.
Sorry, before you get to that, could you state yes or no on the four corners?
Yes for the stop sign, no.
Well, if that, I guess no.
No.
I guess no.
Okay.
And I agree with Guy, and I wanted to remind people that there was a flashing light there. When I came to town in '70, sometime in the early '70s it was removed.
That's
But
interesting.
I'm curious what the deal is, you know, how much money is there to put up a flashing light? You know, I realize it's not your decision, I'm just
Yeah.
wanted to tell you there was a light there. And, seemed to work.
Yeah.
Does that mean it could be grandfathered in? Is there like some loophole there that if the state had it in the 70s, we could put one back up?
Well, that'd be my hope. That'd be my hope.
Work the system, work the
The
system.
town can't put a light up. We don't have that authority.
Okay.
Sue, you spoke, but you didn't say yes or no.
I did, I'm in favor of the stop
Okay.
signs. People are crazy. You've got to tell them black and white. You can't give them gray areas. We just drove across country and back, and it's insane.
Anybody else want to comment on tonight's?
I guess I should comment too. Kathy Rosine, 71 Mill Road.
And your vote?
I guess I would say yes, because like Eric said, it was Lincoln Light did many years ago, 1970s, and that's 50 years ago. I think people are driving crazier now than they were in 1970. My concern about the four-way stop sign is winter and weather and trying to stop on a downhill slope like that. And, you know, that could be pretty tricky, but I agree something has to happen too.
Chip, am I allowed to ask one more question? I'd like to know, is the four-way stop going to be lit? You know, right now it's two-way flashing. Will it be four-way flashing then? Do we know, or?
Well, we asked about that when the
You
state
did.
was in, and they didn't feel as though they needed to do that on their signs. But we haven't asked again,
I see.
because we had to go through this process.
Right. I do think since it's lessened the accidents in the one direction, maybe that would be a sign that it would be worth it. I think they're solar powered, right? My other question was, the road that we have jurisdiction over, Durgan Ledge, could we put in that rumbly part for a warning?
And we've talked about that with the road agent. We talked about it when we replaced the signs. It's carved into the pavement. I think the reason we decided not to do it was because we're going to repave Ledge Hill Road in 2025. But would it make a lot of difference? I don't know. I mean, the signs are certainly.
It seems like it would not help that much because we already have seen the reduction with the flashing. It certainly couldn't hurt, right?
Yeah.
But I think the bigger issue is the speed at which people are coming down 171, and so it would certainly be more beneficial on 171, right?
Yeah, it would. It would be so beneficial, I think. And I get what the people who are voting no are saying. You know, is it going to cause more of a collision hazard?
Yeah.
Is it going to be too hard to stop? You know, I hear how fast they're going. I see the stadies picking them off one by one while I'm walking my dog. You know, they're there for 1 hour and they've got one after the next after the next.
I always give them a thumbs up.
Right.
When driving by, like,
Yeah.
Thank you.
We offer them a cup of coffee.
Is there anybody?
we're done.
I think we covered everybody.
We also have had this question up on our web page for a while now. So we're gonna combine whatever input came in on that along with your input. Oh, Max has more input.
Audrey posted it on the Facebook page, and there was, I have to say, overwhelming negative, overwhelmingly people were saying no. That's hearsay, but I hope most of them emailed, because I did tell everybody able.
Yeah, I saw that, thank you. We did receive 19
but
emails.
Anecdotally, it was overwhelmingly.
Agreed. But we did put this process out there, and unfortunately, it would seem that the email count versus the comment count is drastically different. Unfortunately.
That's so funny. Yeah.
I know. It frustrates me, right? They'll take the time to make a comment on Facebook, but they won't take the time to send an email.
And I would say that if it was flipped, it's whoever has an opinion should voice it in the proper way, whether it's yes or no. But it's interesting that there's that. Anyway, I don't need to talk. Sorry, Jim.
Okay. The letter that Max gave me from, I guess it's from you and your neighbors.
Yes.
Regards more intensive speed signage on the During Road side of this. I'll give this to the chief of police before he leaves tonight, and you can get with the road agent, and see what you come up with on that.
Yeah.
Like, signs don't generally keep people from driving too fast, but it keeps the honest people honest.
Can I ask
Right.
too? You said that you have no control over what signage you can put up on 171. Who would you recommend we speak to?
It's State of New Hampshire Department of Transportation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
All right.
is that a vote in there, or?
Is this a vote?
Yeah.
No, it has nothing.
It's
to
the.
do with- It's the.
It's a no, but.
No. Does it have a vote? I don't believe it does.
Well, I know it's a no.
My husband's in it too.
There's no mention of the stop signs.
Tom's in.
it's a.
You can leave it.
If he's voting.
Oh, you don't need my permission to do anything.
Signs on Durgan Road. All right, so no more public input. I'm going to call this meeting to a close. Thank you, gentlemen. We'll gladly accept donations on your way out.
For what?
For a pleasant demeanor.
You've got that in spades.
Thank you.
I don't think we've got.
Yeah, he really didn't answer the question.
He told me it was a no on the phone, so. But.
Yeah, that's really frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, that so many people commented and didn't just follow the process of sending an email. That's really frustrating.
And I replied to almost all of them saying,
I know.
Email.
You did. I know.
Email.
I imagine you're as frustrated or more frustrated than I am.
I mean, it's not that difficult.
No.
Just,
No. Especially when we provide, the information was provided. It's not. I mean, most people that are literate enough to answer on Facebook.
yeah. So.
Do we?
Oh, thank you.
Are we done?
Will do.
Do we have a non-public? It says we do. This says we have a non-public?
We need to do that law.
Oh, okay. Okay. Okay, so then we can adjourn? I will second that. Aye.
Do you know if Tibbetts Road, do we plow that? Or is that a